What's up, everyone? This is Kyo, and I'm here with Sejun, and today we're going to talk about Hellblade Senua Sacrifice on the Binch Bros podcast.
Alright, so Kyo,
Yeah.
it's been probably 2 weeks, right, since our last recording?
It has.
And what we promised folks... Oh, sorry. Everyone, I'm gonna crack a thing next to your ear. I'm sorry. There we go.
Hasn't cracked one open.
I hope that's not super loud. It's an energy drink.
Fine.
I don't drink.
I'll go back to this specific
anything.
spot to turn it down if it's really that bad. But
Wait, I do drink beer. I don't drink it often, and I wouldn't drink it while I'm podcasting.
Uh-huh.
I don't know why you need to know that. I mean,
yeah, I know. That's so weird.
Yeah,
I don't know why you did either.
I guess I would. I don't know. I feel like
it's like a challenge or something, or
even though we're technically not alone because we're talking to each other.
Yeah,
it would still make me feel like I'm drinking alone.
Yeah.
Maybe?
Well, after if we don't talk after the podcast, you're definitely drinking alone.
Well, how about this? I don't really like getting drunk or buzzed or anything.
Really buzzed too? Okay.
I don't like alcohol so much.
Yeah.
Or being inebriated. I mean, I like it sometimes.
I guess it's different for person to person, right? Because I don't mind it. I don't do it often, so I'm not an alcoholic. But I do enjoy the buzz for sure. Like when you're in that loose feeling and you just just chilling.
I think it depends on my company. I think sometimes if I'm with people and we go out to a Korean barbecue, right?
Yeah.
And then, we get a pitcher of beer, you know, and we just drink the beer while we eat food that's good. That's fine. But I'm never usually the person who let's say I got to a party and all the alcohol was gone. That's fine. I'm fine. I don't care.
Oh man.
Yeah. I'll drink the soda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's definitely different from me. I definitely would want to get a bit drunk. There's only one time that I gotten really bad but it's weird because I still remember all my drunk times kind of.
Oh yeah, if you're under 21, don't drink.
Oh yeah. Oh, this is our early gab too. I'm not sure if that was no,
that's fine.
We're gonna talk about Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice
later.
Just it's in a bit, but we're just going to add a buffer, if you will.
Yeah. Well, I mean, first of all,
it's been a while too.
This is what, and it's been 2 weeks, and we promised them a review of Max Payne the movie, which I haven't rewatched.
I can't remember if I edited that in.
Oh,
Did I put that in there? Did I put that in there? Or?
I don't know. I didn't listen to the very end of it.
I mean, I did. I edited it, but I mean, I think I remember I was just not rushed to edit it.
Well, that's what I did. Yeah. Well, we didn't promise you shit, so we didn't watch it. Maybe we'll get to it at some point. We finished Remedy. That was a fun journey.
It was.
Looking back on it now, it's weird. It's weird that we say we finished Remedy. We just played Alan Wake and Max Payne. Yeah. We didn't play Quantum Break.
No.
We didn't play that weird car game that they released way back in the day.
Okay. I don't think I even want to.
Yeah.
Quantum Break, though, that kind of sucked. That didn't work out for either of us.
Yeah. And you know what? Honestly, after thinking about that game more and more, I'm like, I get it. I get what type of game it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm sure it's fun. I'm sure it's one of those games I would play and not think about for years, and then someone would bring it up years later and be like, "Hey, remember that game with Iceman from the X-Men movies?" I'll be like,
and working with Littlefinger.
Yeah,
do you remember Littlefinger on Game of Thrones?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I don't think of him as Littlefinger. I guess I do now, which sucks. I don't know. He's always gonna be Senator Carcetti from The Wire.
See, that's
Carcetti.
That's
think
what I
call
need
them
to
parquets.
watch. Like the only thing I've been doing, because like the other reason why we haven't had anything, we didn't able to promise anything either, was because I went to Florida, which is I think I mentioned that last podcast, anyways. And I was gone for about a week, and the only thing I was able to do was like play on my Switch games with my siblings, which is pretty fun, and I watched Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, I think.
Oh, I like that show. I haven't seen the third season.
Okay. Yeah, it's pretty good. I like it. The characters are very lovable and attachable.
Yeah.
Attachable?
I don't know. It's like as the show becomes more of a cartoon, I think it gets lower on my priorities list, if that makes sense. Like
No, I
I never disliked it. I do like it. I was really pumped on season 1. Season 2 came out. I remember I was a couple of days late on it, and I was like, I can't wait to watch that. After season 2 came out, I was like, oh, that was good. And then season 3 came out, and then I was like, I'll get to it someday.
Yeah.
It's definitely one
kind
of
of
those I'll
becomes
get to it someday.
more what was it, slice of life after like 2 or whatever, right?
I mean, I love slice of life. That's like my favorite genre of anime, so that's not a problem.
It pretty much does, kind of, but I don't know. I don't want to get too much into it because I think season 3 was released earlier this year or something. Is that right?
Well, Defenders just came out too, and
Yeah.
I never saw Iron Fist, but I think I'm gonna skip that one because I don't care, and I'll just watch Defenders because I like Jessica Jones and I like Daredevil and I like Luke Cage.
I need to watch those. That's what I need to do.
They were good,
But
Daredevil.
The Wire seems more of like the one I should put on my priority list because you always mention about it.
The Wire is my favorite TV show.
Yeah.
It's it's 5 seasons of like just the best TV. You know, it's better than Game of Thrones. It's better than I don't know, Breaking Bad.
Well,
Note, I've never finished Breaking Bad, so I'm definitely speaking out of my ass when I say that.
Note.
But
I don't even know what note is.
Note, as in like addendum. I've never gone past the first episode of Breaking Bad.
Oh, gotcha.
I'm sure it's great. I hear it's great. The first episode was great.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm gonna throw it up a little higher in the list, but I think I'm gonna watch. I don't. I'm just mentioning it because I know you like anime, so I think I'm gonna be going on to anime now.
Ooh,
I think
what anime?
I continued on with My Hero Academia. Academia.
Yeah, that's a show I need to go back to some point.
It's fun.
Yeah,
Loving it.
yeah, I think I happened to stop watching it on a really like uninteresting part for me.
Yeah.
And so I never went back yet. And I have many friends who were telling me, oh, it's a really good show though.
Yeah.
And so part of me is like begrudgingly going to watch it again. I'm sure I'm sure I'm gonna like it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this right now. I can't stand when he cries, and he cries all the time.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Cries a lot.
It looks disgusting. His like giant teardrops. Like
I love it because like it's so detailed. Like everything else. Like I realized something in animation, right?
Right.
In animation, you kind of want to have like less stuff to draw, but when they start adding like that and have really high detail, it looks really cool.
Oh, I mean, if you like very
expressive,
or not even like, I mean, just like, okay, there's so many shows, right, that do this. They use very specific keyframes and, you know, faces and models and whatever, and like everyone looks like there's a lot of static in animation, in anime specifically, a lot of not moving.
Save time and stuff.
Yeah,
right?
like people will be in a room talking, standing in their exact positions and talking.
And then just the only thing that's moving is like the camera, right? Like it zooms.
No,
in,
the camera.
zooms out.
I mean, that, sometimes it's their mouths and that's it. You know, like they don't move their heads even.
Yeah.
And like a studio that doesn't do that is Kyoto Animation, right? They did Haruhi, Clannad, K-On! Like, you know, they're a super good anime studio, one of my favorites, and they're so expressive with animation, right? They always animate something, like they animate a lot of stuff in their shots. So a scene that normally would play out very simply becomes really dynamic to watch. And
just like two people talking, right?
Yeah, and using Clanad. And I remember I showed you a clip of Clanad recently after we've talked about it, and you're watching it and you're like, wow, this show, I forgot how good it looks. And it's like, it's an old show, and it looks like it could have come out this season. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's very well done. And
it is.
All of their shows are like that. All of their, even their bad shows, like Phantom World, that no one liked except for like one person over at Crunchyroll, and like for some reason it's so well animated.
It looks good.
Yeah, it's very well. I mean, as a show that, if you are into animation, purely aesthetic animation, I would recommend watching that show. If you if you care at all about, not having your brain rot, then I don't recommend watching it. But I mean, I don't know. I think it's really well animated, and that alone is enough.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I know this isn't an anime podcast, but also Trigger is another great studio. They take really low, their stuff doesn't seem that expensive, or I think they work with a lower budget a lot of times, but they really squeeze out amazing stuff from it. Like they did Gurren Lagann, which you like that show, right?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Yeah. The characters is cool.
And they did Kill la Kill.
Yeah,
they're very expressive with their animation in a totally different way.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love that stuff. Very detailed stuff.
Anyway,
should we talk about games we played?
Yeah, this week? I was gonna bring up a game because I played some of this game called Agents of Mayhem. So this is a game I've been looking forward to.
It's a solid 8 or 7.
It's definitely not an 8. It's a 7. It's a spin-off. This is weird. Okay, so Saints Row, right? Saints Row is a game series that Volition made, and it started off. I'm gonna get into history a little bit. Started off as a GTA clone. Grand Theft Auto. I think it came out before Grand Theft Auto 4. So it was like the first Xbox 360 generation of that type of open world crime game. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's whatever. It's like don't think about Saints Row 1. That game's just it's
clunky.
It's GTA San Andreas for Xbox 360 with less memorable characters. Okay. Now, Saints Row 2 came out, and it's the same game, but they decided what we're gonna do this time is we're gonna make it really weird.
Yeah.
So everything about that game all of a sudden became this gross, crass humor thing where it prioritized being nasty, silly, and stupid. Yeah, exactly. And it's fun. It's a great game. I like that one a lot. It started having its own identity. Saints Row 3 took that one step further. It got a little less gross. Still gross, but more mainstream, I guess. Yeah. But it got a little weird. A more cartoon. It's very cartoony. Okay. And that's a game where you had that big old dildo bat as a weapon. Yeah. And they had the physics on it, and you could also you had a dubstep gun in that game, I think.
4 was...
No, that was 3. I think it was 3. It? Yeah, 3 had the dubstep gun.
Okay, then 3 is the one I played then.
Yeah, where you could fire dubstep at people, and then they start dancing and they explode or whatever. Jets and all sorts of... It was fun. It's a very...
I think... No, never mind. Maybe... Did it continue in 4 too? Did you add a dubstep gun in there?
I'm sure you get one in 4. 4 is
4 is the one I played.
4 is one I really like a lot, actually. 4 I like even better than 3 because it's they went, they just kept going, basically.
Yeah, added superpowers in this one, I think.
Yeah, right? Yeah. You're the president of the United States in 4. Earth gets blown up. You get sucked into the Matrix, and now you have powers. And
Yeah.
And it's basically like Crackdown or like Infamous prototype. It's like it's no longer a GTA clone. It feels It feels more like Hulk Ultimate Destruction than it does GTA.
Yeah.
Which I love that game.
Yeah, I forgot about that game. I want to play that.
That
now.
game rules.
See how it holds up.
It holds up. I played it a couple years ago. That game's fun.
Awesome.
I mean, the mission design's not that interesting, but I mean,
I just remember like picking up shit and just like having the easy one-hit kills stuff.
Any game that lets you like run up a skyscraper and elbow drop a tank, that rules. You know what I mean?
Oh my god, that's awesome.
Yeah, you can rip cars in half and like make them boxing gloves.
Fists, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
awesome.
so it borrows from that game more than it does from Saints Row now, and you can just like use telekinetic powers to check cars, etc. Great game.
Yeah, cool.
They did Gat Out of Hell, which is a spin-off where you played as Johnny Gat, and he went to hell, and he had different hell powers and hell weapons. Anyway, that game ends with multiple endings, okay?
Yeah.
And one of the endings, Gat has God recreate the world, like the universe, and like now he's a cop, and like they're after this woman named Brimstone or whatever, and like it was like just one of the weird endings, that you could get from that game. This game, Agents of Mayhem, takes place after that ending. It's a very how Nier takes place after the ending D of Drakengard. It's very much like that. It's like, oh, you made a game based on like one of the joke endings of this other game. Anyway, in this game, it's now very much it's as much of a cartoon as Saints Row 4 is, but it's more along the lines of G.I. Joe now. And and I haven't finished it, so I don't know how it's gonna play out to the end. But like, so you play.
Is it? Hold on. Is it Saints Row Agents of Mayhem, or is it just Agents of Mayhem?
It's just called Agents of Mayhem, but it's in the same franchise. And you play. And here's the thing. I really hope the next game that Volition does, if it's in this franchise, is Saints Row. I want a Saints Row 5. I don't want a Agents of Mayhem 2. After playing Agents of Mayhem.
Yeah.
But like, so in this game, you play. It's a single player open world action game that borrows a lot from hero shooters like Overwatch.
Yeah.
And so you have teams of 3, and you have 12. You have technically 14 characters, but 2 of them are DLC that you can choose from, and they all fill different roles. There's like this like stealthier ones. There's like snipers. There's tanks. Etc. And like. You bring out like an optimized team, probably. You always want to have a tank because otherwise it gets hard. And they all have like distinct personalities, and they're pretty memorable, I guess. It's fine. It's an open world. The open world stuff's all right. It's like,
oh, I didn't think it was that. I thought it was like a quest like lock area type thing.
No, it's like it's in Seoul, Korea. It's an open world. It's the future, so it's all weird. You're fighting Legion, which stands for like something, League of Gentlemen in Evil something. Intent
it's
on
a whole abbreviation.
Something, yeah. And Mayhem stands for something too. I forget what it is. But here's the thing about this game. Like, not only are the missions not super like compelling, really. It's also like the presentation's worse than all the Saints Row games. Like, Saints Row is very, like, I'll always remember, like, skydiving, into a rooftop while, like, Kanye West Power is playing in the background. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Or like, I don't know, like, shooting your way through a airplane as you're getting sucked out. Or, like, like, flying towards your destination while you got to touch.
There's a lot of epic moments.
It's not even epic. It's like, it's ironic and it's funny, but it's great. And it's and this game doesn't really do that. It's more like bog standard. There's a lot of like, go here, destroy these generators, and like while you're doing that, your characters are gonna say like nasty things or crazy things. Like they make like, oh, watch out, that's comet headed towards Uranus. Haha, you said Uranus. Like, really?
yeah.
Like, okay,
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
And I mean, Saints Row is not above doing stupid jokes, but it's like funny. And this game's not that funny. But I mean, I like some of the characters. It's not like all bad. It's not a terrible game. I'm having fun with it. It's just like, meh. You know, I don't really recommend it.
I mean, I think when you talk about like Saints Row, right? Like all the Saints Row games and how it pretty much copies from other things, I think it's pretty cool that it's kind of copying from like Overwatch and stuff. So I kind of want to just take a look at it.
Yeah,
but,
no, it's fine. It's I mean, it's copying from Overwatch very aesthetically, right? Like it's got that, which I mean, that's fine. You know, it's got colorful, multinational characters that like kind of like, you know, all different types of like, you know, different quirks. You know, my favorite character in the game is Daisy. She's a roller derby girl, you know, like, and she carries this like big minigun, and her attitude is very much like drink, fight, and fuck, yeah, you know, like whatever, that sort of character. But she's funny. I like her, and she's a tank. She's got like a ton of shields, you know.
Nice.
And her minigun is really good, and when it overheats, everyone has a, you know, it's like Overwatch, right? Everyone has their primary weapon, their ability, like their special ability, and then they have their ultimate, which is their mayhem ability, you know?
Yeah.
And her special ability cools down her minigun, but makes her like do damage on contact. So a big thing, and like then you can put in different buffs for them. So I have a buff that makes it so like when her minigun overheats, and I use her special ability, now when I'm hitting people, it makes explosions happen, and it also increases the heat. So like what I do is like I'm just like now like, you know, star power in Mario, when you get star power and you just touch enemies and they explode or they die. Yeah. It's like
That's
that.
pretty much what you do.
Yeah, so you're just skating into enemies, and it just builds up your mayhem, which makes your minigun like super powerful.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, it's fun. Definitely okay.
Yeah. It's almost a situation where it's almost like I mean, like any open world really, right? It kind of like ends up becoming a day-to-day thing, and then you just have to go to point A to point B, and then go to C, and then all the way to Z to finish the game.
Yeah, when you like describe it, it makes me want to play it even less. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like,
I'm just thinking about like what's that game called that was recently released and we decided not to play it.
Ghost Recon.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's a worse game than, I'm sure on some level it's like Ghost Recon has better, like, you know, shooting and whatever, etc. This is more like arcadey, right? And it's like, but I mean, I don't want to play. This is more fun to play than Ghost Recon for sure for me, just because it's not like that game is so uninteresting.
Yeah.
But like this one, at least like this game,
I think it's fun just because like there's individual characters and they have like their own abilities, right? So I think that's cool.
So here's the thing: this game, like, if I described a lot of things, you'd be like, "Oh, that sounds funny," you know. But it's always funnier when you hear about the concept. Like the idea is always funnier than the execution, you know?
Yeah.
Like there's a bad guy who kidnapped a K-pop star, or he's with a K-pop star, but she's actually a hologram, like AI, you know, and they fell in love and they want to get married. It's like, oh, that's funny. But then you're playing the game and you're like, oh, it's not that funny. You know what I mean? It's like, it's like that joke doesn't last like the 4 or 5 missions it seemingly is going to take me on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, I don't know. It's whatever. It's a 7. 7 might be too generous. It's a 6.
Yeah.
I don't hate it. It's just
I'd rent it.
Oh yeah, I totally say rent it or like Redbox it, you know, like play through the main mission. You don't have to level all your characters up to 40 or whatever. There's no point.
Yeah.
There's 15 difficulty levels in that game.
So freaking Diablo.
Right, that's what it reminds me of, because it's like from I think 10 on only unlock after you like max level a character, and it's like,
Yeah,
but I mean it's
that's the only thing for levels too. Is just to increase the difficulty.
it's like you get more XP and money, and like
mhm.
I don't know, the loot in the game is like you don't get like different weapons or anything for people. You just get like skins for cars and characters, like stuff you get. You get those things that you can slot in, like you get 3 different
Like
things
modifications.
exactly, and then you get like more things you can slot in on top of those things. So you get like 9 of them, and you can only have 3 of them at a time, like
Yeah.
and then on each of those 3 you can also slot in 9 other but I mean it's not that interesting. It's like the most interesting thing is like what I have for Daisy, where she blows people up if you touch them. It's like, yeah, that's kind of fun. Or like there's this guy named I almost called him Hanzo, Oni, and he's like he's more like Genji than he's like neither. Anyway, he's like this Yakuza guy, and he has like a really powerful critical shot as his special, and you can have different abilities. It could do like panic or immobilize or whatever, and like one of his like extra things that you can slot on gives him like 2 shots of that instead of 1, so you don't have to wait for the cooldown every time you shoot it, and also if you kill someone with it, it's refunded, stuff like that. I don't know. Yeah, it's whatever. It's definitely brainless, like play with your, you can just play it, but I mean it's not like, honestly, if you haven't played a Saints Row game and this is a new one that came out, I recommend playing Saints Row 4. It's way more fun.
Yeah, I recommend it too.
The powers in that game is really fun.
Yeah.
The humor is way funnier. Like and I mean honestly, if you played that game and you're like, this isn't very funny, steer clear from this game. Like, cause this game is like way less funny.
Yeah.
So yeah, can't recommend.
Yeah.
What have you been playing?
Well, as I mentioned before, I was in Florida, so I couldn't bring my PS4, right?
Right.
I could have, but
you didn't.
Didn't want to. It's too much things to carry to the plane. I actually would have to take it off and put it on its own bin at TSA. Yeah, and I ended up bringing my Switch, and the only games I really played was ARMS, and then I eventually got Minecraft.
Oh, you got the Minecraft for the Switch?
Yeah, and I got my money's worth for it at least already, because I got it mainly because I wanted to play it with my brother and sister, and we made our own little town. At first, we like started really slowly, and we just like didn't. We just made like a simple ass house. And then it kind of like we were like, whatever. We'll come back to this later. And then we eventually made it bigger. We all did our separate things. Like my brother made like a farm or something.
Wait, so you played multiplayer?
Yeah, there's like a split screen.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, and then we ended up like doing different things. Like I made a warehouse, an automated warehouse with like I don't know what to call it. It's like Minecraft's. I don't know, engineer, mechanic, I guess, or just like electrical, mechanic. It just like makes everything you can possibly automate things. And then my sister just like explored. That's basically what she did, and it was pretty fun. We just had a good time, just looking around and making really, really fun things.
That's cool. I mean, Minecraft is like Skyrim. It's like never gonna die.
Yeah,
it's just always
there's nothing to, like there is like one thing you can do, which is like find the end, and like I guess there is like an ending at least where there's credits.
Dragon or whatever, right?
We could have done that, but right now we're just kind of chilling, and that's pretty much what the point was that way we just build shit and just like not worry about anything. Which is fine. I mean, I enjoyed my time playing with them.
So I have a question.
A lot of memes.
Minecraft, right? That's a game that came out. It hit really well, and so it lives on. you know,
Yeah.
and it had many updates, and you know, every time I mean, like, you know, there's people who hate it or whatever, but it's like,
Yeah.
it's a very it's a staple, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then sometimes games come out and they do really badly in the beginning, you know, and then they you know, they might develop a community still, but like no one hears about it really unless you go digging. Like Rainbow Six Siege is one that, like, I know when it came out no one really liked it, but now the people who play it really love it. You know, it's supposed to be a really great game, and you know, that's cool that like it built this community. No Man's Sky.
Oh Jesus. Uh-huh.
Yeah, that game came out,
That's
right?
community?
Abysmal reviews, and like everyone hated it, right? And apparently the game that's out today, the same game with all the updates that they've done, it's like supposedly pretty good.
All right.
But
I see.
my question is,
Yes.
would you ever be willing to go back to it, or are you too burned on it?
I mean, I recently went back into it like this year.
Oh, you did?
I've only played it for I played it for a little bit. I mean, how recent were these updates? I don't know. I'll answer your question. Maybe, but kind of leaning towards yes, just to check. Because since I did it this year, I'll probably do it again just to see how it is. Because you're aware that I was like really into the game, and I think
Before it
on the
came out.
podcast, on the podcast itself, I mentioned like that. I can't wait till it comes out next week. I'm gonna be talking about that all the time. Then the week after, I was like, yeah, this is bullshit. I don't want to play this game.
No one liked it because it didn't have what they promised, and I mean, obviously, it's not going to have what they promised, which is an infinite universe or whatever. But I think
the biggest thing was just like no multiplayer. Like you can't play with friends.
I don't think I still think it doesn't have multiplayer.
No, I see what you're saying. Yeah, they kind of like I remember they updated a few things where you could like build now. Like
you can
like
build
structures and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's like I don't know. It's still kind of whatever, I think. But to answer your question, yeah, maybe. But if it still progresses the same way as I checked on it at some point this year, I'll probably only play it for like a day and a half.
Yeah.
And then I'll be done with it.
I mean, it's really hard for me to like go back to video games, you know, that like I haven't, or that like if I dropped the video game, like if I've beaten a game and had a good time with it, I'll go back to it many times, you know. I'll be like, yeah, I love that game. Like I'm really excited to play Bayonetta again for this podcast, you know. Like I love Bayonetta. I haven't played it in forever, but like you know, it's probably gonna be great. If it's a game I dropped though, it really takes even if it's a good game, and I don't know, it's like I dropped it for some reason, it's gonna be more of a push for me to, it's less comfortable for me to get back into it, you know. So like, I mean, there's great games I've like stopped, you know, midway through and just haven't finished, you know. I mean, sometimes I'll go back and finish them every once in a while, but like God Hand was one that like I couldn't wrap my mind around how to play this game, so I stopped playing it. And then like years later, it was still on my PS3, and I was like, I'm gonna give this game a shot. And I like did everything in that game possible. Like I completed that game, you know, and it was like it's like a really great game that like I think, you know, I'm glad I had the experience of playing, even though I dropped it originally.
Isn't that like do you think that's more of like a conditional thing? Like you condition yourself to like play, like, I don't know. You only go back to games that can be finished. So if there's a game that isn't finished, there's more of a chance that can't be finished or whatever. You more likely won't be able to play it if anything started, right?
A game that you can't finish.
Yeah, like Minecraft. That's pretty much.
I guess I'm not super interested in games like that, like conceptually. The only game I really play that you can't finish is Overwatch, right? Like
that's another one too, I guess.
But that one just has like a good, you know, it's very accessible. It's got a good multiplayer, you know, like that's it is a good multiplayer. That is what Overwatch is. It's nothing but that. But like, I mean, I don't know, like. Can you finish a fighting game? I play fighting games all the time, you know, and like
Yeah.
You can't really.
Well, it has like a story mode into it, doesn't it?
Some of them, and like, I mean, some of them don't even have, like, Street Fighter 5 didn't have one when it first came out.
Is this multiplayer?
Yeah,
Or
it had like
fighting.
It had like I don't know, character stories that were like, 2 fights each or whatever. That was bullshit.
Yeah,
that didn't mean anything. Whereas like Injustice has like a 2, but Injustice, that like story mode, that's like the thing I played the least, and I beat it twice.
Yeah.
So it's like everything else of that game is like so much more compelling and better, even though the story is really good.
Yeah.
But like I don't know, like if we're talking about like a game like okay, here's the thing. Diablo?
Yes.
That game has a story. Technically,
Yes.
you can finish the game, but like I would almost put that closer to something you can't finish, because there's a forever grind in that game.
Yeah, for like items that you want to equip.
Yeah, it's just like this like infinite grind, and like that's fine, I guess. Like I don't know, but it's like
it's just one of those mindless things.
Right, but it's like less interesting than something like Dark Souls. You could technically keep playing that game over and over and over again. And like, I've played, I don't know how many New Game Plus cycles I've gone through on Bloodborne, Dark Souls 2, and Dark Souls 3, but like it's more than one on each of those games. I can tell you that much, like
for sure.
At least 3 on like all of them. And it's like, even though I finished that game, I like wanted to jump right back in. Oh, like maybe this time I can, maybe it'll be harder, but this time I know the boss's attack patterns, so it's gonna be technically harder, but it's gonna be technically easier.
Yeah, I think it's just different strokes for different folks, I guess. Then, because like, there's some games I would definitely come back to, but so far like story stuff, I don't remember a game that I finished and I was like, okay, I wanna, I'm feeling a little bit of a like, I don't know, like for an example. Like, I'm feeling a little Alan Wake. Let me just plug that baby back in.
Right, yeah.
I never actually...
That's the thing. I wouldn't play Alan Wake again, probably. Mm-hmm. But I've played Max Payne 1 and 2 a bunch. Yeah. Like, I've, like, sat down and replayed that game, I don't know. Like, some things... maybe it's, like, different time in my life.
Yeah.
But, I mean... do you mind if we segue into Hellblade?
Yeah, let's do it.
Because I played that game twice.
Oh my god. Yeah. Well,
so we'll talk.
I wanted to play it again.
Yeah. So let's jump into it. Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice. I don't know why I hesitated. I know how to say it.
It's because of me.
Yeah.
Because I implanted this Senua.
So first of all, let's just get this out of the way. I think that title is a mouthful. I do.
Yeah, it is.
I think they could have named it something better. They could have either called it Hellblade or Senua's Sacrifice. They didn't have to have... Yeah. It's another Horizon Zero Dawn. You know what I mean? It's like, shut up.
Just have a one word that'd help out a lot.
Yeah, it's just like...
For us
be
to
confident
introduce.
In your game. You don't have to have a subtitle for it. Be confident.
Yeah, I could see where like the subtitle would pretty much like help, like sell, because it sounds interesting. Like, what does that mean?
It's interesting because Ninja Theory games, right? Like, so they've made Heavenly Sword, Enslaved, DMC, Hellblade, and something else, so Ninja something. All of those games have subtitles except for Heavenly Sword. Their like first big PS3 game. That game isn't called Heavenly Sword Nariko Sacrifice. I don't know. But
it's just Heavenly Sword.
Enslaved is called Odyssey to the West. DMC is called Devil May Cry. Well, yeah, that one's obvious. It is Devil May Cry, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like
but they made it.
Yeah, Hellblade is Senua's Sacrifice, and honestly, like, if I have one big complaint about the game, is the title.
It's gonna be that,
because everything else is fucking rad. This game rules.
Yeah, it's really cool. It has really good graphics. The audio is really good.
Yeah, did you play with headphones?
I did play. I played. Yeah, and I have the platinum, like, Sony ones too. So there's like the 3D audio thing.
Right. Yeah, because they have binaural sound in this game.
Yeah, it's weird because this game is like part like puzzle, part like Dark Souls ish, and then part ASMR a little bit.
Okay.
Because like you could tell when she's like getting closer.
Yeah, no, it's crazy because like in the beginning of the game, right, when it first starts, and like you hear the voices, you know, and like they're talking about her, you know, and like it's interesting because they never like talk to her. They like, or they do sometimes, but they
talk about her. It's just it's just like girls. Like Gossip Girl or Mean Girls are talking.
Yeah, they are mean girls,
but she could hear.
Yeah, and they talk to you, and like so, like I feel like you're another voice in her head. You know what I mean? Like the player is like another voice inside her head, and they're intense. Like these voices, like I don't know. It's very.
It's back and forth. They're saying like you can do it, and then the next moment they say you're not going to do it. You're going to die.
It's her doubts, right? So like like there's really early on in this game, you approach this like I don't know. It's this little step area that you drop down into the next area, you know, and you do that, and then the voices start going. Oh, she went down. She can't climb back up. She's stuck here.
She's never gonna come back.
And it's just like Jesus, like you know, like, like that's so unsettling to me.
But what is weird though? In times where they're gone, it feels weird.
Yeah,
and I felt like that I needed them to come back.
Oh yeah, but,
in order for it to be a little more less eerie, I think.
Yeah. By the way, we're gonna spoil this game, everyone. Full spoilers. So
yeah, I mean, like,
so tune out now because for the rest of the podcast, it's gonna be Hellblade talk.
Yeah, we'll see you next podcast.
But before they go, I do want to say real quick, highly recommend it. It's $30. Play this game, because there's a lot to talk about, and listen to this podcast afterwards because it's really great.
Yeah, it's fun.
Anyway,
it's a good game.
So like. This game is if you look at so it's let's get the premise out of the way. It's a Hellblade.
Let's get the premise out.
It's this woman, warrior Senua, she's a Celtic warrior, and her like village was attacked by Vikings, and her love was killed, and so she's trying to go to hell to barter for his soul, like kind of like talk to Hela, the goddess there, and like try to get
his husband's soul back.
Yeah, get her and her lost love, like this, like and she's bringing his head with him. And
that's like it's like ritual or something, or it's like it's needed.
And that's something I didn't know about before I played this game, that she's gonna have his head with her, and it's it's a trip because it's like breathing and stuff. Like it's in a bag. Well, like the bag is like kind of like that's like one of the first things you see in the game is like
it just starts moving, and then like Senua also has like voices in her head, and they also mention you notice it that the head is moving. It's like jaw is like moving, whatever, when they mention it. So they pretty like, oh, is that him? Is he talking? His mouth is moving in the bag.
What was his name again?
Damn, I
want to say Alex, but it's not Alex.
No, it's something. It's stupid. It's Dillian.
Dillian. Oh my gosh.
I don't like that name at all.
I mean, maybe it's an accurate
name
for that.
$1 billion.
Maybe it's an accurate name of that culture.
But I guess.
But here, the cool thing is like, so in the context of the game, she is cursed. You know, she's a cursed, she's daughter of a priestess who like is also cursed and heard voices, and she also hears voices, and but in like the context of reality, she's a person dealing with psychosis, and like Ninja Theory worked really hard because it's a very sensitive subject, you know. It's like it's really easy to get it wrong, and so they worked really hard with the University of Cambridge. And I mean, this is really cool. There's this documentary featurette in the game that you can watch afterwards. It shows how it shows the work they did on like getting the psychosis right, how like they worked on it, and it's like everything you see in the game that like it almost like going into the game, I was like, oh, they're really gonna explore how mentally ill she is. And like instead of that, it's like it felt more traditional than I expected. Like I was like, oh, it's just like, I mean, in a great way, it's very atmospheric, but like like it wasn't like too out there, and then you go back into the featurette and you realize that like it's because people's experiences are like this. People who have psychosis, they hear voices, that like sound like they could be right next to you or like really far away or running around. They see they see patterns and like connections in things that shouldn't be there. So like a lot of the puzzle solving in the game is like, oh, you have to find this rune, and you line up where that rune would be in the environment. And it's like, it's just like probably a coincidence, but like to her, it's, nothing's a coincidence, and like, and then the hallucinations, obviously the visual hallucinations can get really bad sometimes. And like, so like, that's probably expressed in the like fights and the like scary, changes that happen in the environment and the like villains and stuff. But like, it's really like they nail atmosphere in this game, because this game gets really creepy, like and intense. You know what I mean? Like I think you have to be in a right mental state to play this game, because there are certain moments that are just like so intense. Like
they get really well. I think really the only time that ever like really was like, oh god, that's I don't like that, was when so there's like two bosses you're supposed to fight. I know I'm gonna be skipping or whatever, but the one when you have to fight is like the God of Illusion or something. Yeah. And when you get to the boss arena for him, it's just Senua just laying there, and she just like her dead face, and it's just, your eyes are just on the ground, and then you see her moving a little bit, and then you notice like in the background it's kind of blurry. It's just the illusion god just like poking at her body, like, and because he has like a beak or something, right? And he's just like killing her while she's like laying down and stuff. And she's still alive, and she's feeling that. Yeah, I thought that was like the most creepiest thing.
I'll tell you right now, the creepiest thing in the whole game for me is it's one of the trials for the sword. There's a sword that you get in the game. You have to piece it together. There's 4 trials you have to do. Yeah. And it's a trial of blindness. So you're blind, and you're like making your way through this like house. And it's very hard to see because you're blind. You can only see very closely in front of you. And then there's these shapes, these like masses, like that'll hear you if you get too close, and you have to like avoid them. And even though I was never caught by one, like I was really scared to be caught by one. You know what I mean? Yeah. And like
because that's right.
When you're in the cellar and you're going through water, and there's like 20 of these things like just lurking around, and like you don't know where they are until you get close, and you're like, oh fuck, there's one like 4 feet away from me, and then I'm gonna run into this like body hanging from the ceiling that might make noise, so you get really scared and like, uncomfortable, and and you can't really see them very well, so like you don't they look like they're disgusting, but like I don't even know what they really look like. That part really got me. I love that.
I didn't. It's pretty much the same too with me too when I was in that little area, because I noticed those like chains and stuff hanging from like some of the entrances, and I don't think so much like towards the game too much, but whenever that happens, like a unique situation, I usually think about it mechanically, which kind of like almost takes me out a little bit. But I think of like, okay, there's going to be areas in which there's a certain path I actually have to take, and more likely I have to go near that thing than be further away, because further away probably has a trigger where it will hear me. And I noticed that there was chains and stuff, and then there was one time, like, even if I was thinking about that, I actually almost hit it. And when I did, I got super scared. I was like, oh my god, I'm glad I didn't hit it. So like even though I was thinking like logically, it still freaked me out.
So a big part of why like failure is scary in this game is because early on in the game you fight and then you get a message. Your character Senua dies, but it turns out it's an illusion.
That's that always happens, right?
Yeah, I think so. And then
Yeah.
but then she gets a black mark on her arm, and it starts growing, and it says every time you die, like this black mark is gonna grow higher. Once it reaches your brain, it's permanent. Like you die forever, and all progress is lost.
Yeah, I feel like, is that true though?
Here's the thing.
Is it true?
I don't know. Everyone says, like, so online, people have done tests. It's not. I don't think it's true, but the threat is really good.
Yeah, I feel like it was a placebo. Like towards the end, I was thinking like that could have just been a placebo thing. Because what I was thinking about is like, because I mentioned this before, like with Overwatch, whenever you play the game and then you're like defending and your other opponent's attacking, right? And then towards the end, like you're defending great, like beautifully. The team has no chance to like take the point or whatever. But after overtime, everyone just goes like everyone's in their A game, and you end up losing the point and then losing the game, and that's because like the attacking team kind of has like less time, and this is like their only chance, or else the game's over. I felt like that's the same mentality they had when they threw that up there, so that way everyone's in their A game when they play the game.
Yeah, it's
and also be more more. Yeah, and then like the threat of dying is even more important.
Yeah, like the first like I died like pretty early on after that message, and I was like, "Fuck," Like, I was I was really bummed out because like I knew it wasn't like my final life or anything, but like she wakes up and the black rot grows on her arm more, and I was like, "Oh Jesus!" Like this is like I don't know how many more I have, and then and it was like during a boss fight I lost, and then during here's the really cool. This game, I think this game is really brilliant. I think it's one of the best games of this year. Yeah. And it's a year chock full of amazing games. So this is awesome that like another game came out that I'm like, yep, throw this on the list. But like,
yeah, it's pretty good.
But there's a thing that one of the things I really love about this game is they don't tell you anything. Like there's never a heads up display. There's no health bar. There's nothing like that.
Yeah.
And
like, the time when they tell you about the death thing was the only thing they ever told you. Like that's the only text that comes up.
And it's a lie potentially. Which is interesting. It's like like
I think that's cool. I like towards the end I thought it was like the coolest.
Because her
to be
grip
honest.
on reality is like getting is shaky, and so like that like the game lying to you like that, like I'm not mad about it, you know what I mean? Like it's not, I don't feel it's cheap. I feel like it's like it's interesting. And then so one thing I didn't figure out about this game, well, first of all, like I started discovering combos during the combat, and I like the combat a lot. Like I've read online, some people are like it's okay. I was like, no, it's like really good. It's like cool combat game. Like I don't know, like there's not a lot of it, but when there is combat, it's like it's serious. It takes itself seriously. It's got a pretty developed system, and perfect parries feel great. Like
okay, there's parries in here.
You didn't know that?
No.
How good is that? Listen to that. Like they never tell you, right? But you know how you can block?
I only learned how to block halfway too. By the way.
Block when they're hitting you, you parry.
Yeah.
And that's in fact,
is it when it like lights up? Is that when you like have to like block between then?
No, it's just like I don't remember. It's like you just time it, It's like Dark Souls
just like
or something.
right before it hits you.
Yeah, exactly. And like
last minute.
And when you get your special sword later, like it basically instantly makes your sword charge up. And
that's
turns
cool.
shadow enemies or whatever into normal, and you know what I mean. You know how you can only hit them with like when your sword's like lit up, like it immediately does that, and like
that's cool.
So it becomes super valuable, and then and then I found out.
Damn, I wish I learned about parry. That would make it so much more easier.
It's so fun. It's like you got parries, you got like combos, you got like when you get downed. At first, I thought I was like dead. No, I died the first time that I got downed. Like the enemy hit me afterwards, and I was like, damn, like like that's a long death animation. And then one time I got downed like during the like boss fight against a fire boss, and I was like, shit, it's that long death animation. was like, ah, whatever. And she started mashing buttons, and she got back up.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, that's it? That's a mechanic?
Yeah, I noticed that. And then ever since then, I'll always like smash.
Yeah. And I don't know how many times you can do it. I don't know if you can always do it, but it's like really stressful.
I've gone down a lot of times.
Yeah, me too. Like,
I feel like you could get down like 5 or 6 times until you actually die.
Well, the ending of the game, right? Like, I know we're getting all out of order, but it's fine. Like, whatever. The end of the game is. It turns out I didn't know this at first.
Wait. Well, let's just say what's like. Well, no, we already know the reason why Senua's going to like.
Yeah, she's
hell.
going to look for her lost love. Okay, so
and she basically goes through trials and ends up getting another sword.
Yeah. It's like a hero's journey type of thing, but it's like the interesting element is that like it's possibly all in her head. You know, like maybe none of this is real. Maybe some of it is. I don't know. I don't know if any of this is real. I don't know if she really sees any of this, but it's real to her. That's the thing. And and when you get to the very end of the game, you're in a place that's like clearly like not of this world. You know, it's like like the environment's changing. Like
there's floating platforms.
Exactly. You had to cross this bridge in a cave, like that led. You know, and so you're in hell, and you know you're rushing to fight. To probably you want to kill Hela or bargain with her to get Billy and Soul back or bring him back to life. And on the way there, this part's great, by the way, because the music kicks in and like it's just
the music is great at
the
really
end,
like man.
It.
It's so good.
It really pumps you up, and then
it does.
So like you have to do like 3 different waves, and they're really tough. You know, it's like the most tough part of the game. It like brings your combat prowess into the forefront. You have to get into it, and then
but I think your sword's stronger at that point.
Yeah,
so it's like
exactly.
Kill the enemies, but there's just a lot of them.
They keep coming. And it's like you start one-shotting dudes, but there's like 20 of them now instead of 2.
Yeah,
like early on in the game when there's like 2 or 3 enemies at once, you're like, fuck, this is hard. And then like now there's like a lot more. But but then you like keep going, and then the final one is, I think it's infinite. Because I played it for about 15 minutes before I finally... Like, I played it for a long time. I was just like... Because I, like, figured it out.
Okay.
You know how you can use your ability? I forget what the ability is called, but, like...
it's focus. I want to just say focus.
Yeah, focus. You know, you should get focus, and, like, time stops, and, like, she does, like, damage, and, like, you know...
I think that's so cool, too. Like, because, like, sometimes the enemies move as fast as you, but once you hit them, they become slow.
Exactly.
It feels really cool.
Yeah, and it's really neat. And like there's this like cool filter of everything. And so I started doing like focus, and like what I would do is I'd hold L1 and just hit triangle, which made her do a jump, like lunging attack.
Yeah, I do that all the time.
And it was like one
my
shot,
combo.
like so many enemies, and then like I would do that, and then I get knocked down, and then I would jam, all the buttons to get back up. And like, so I played that fight for like 15 minutes, and like, it just kept going, and the song started looping, and I was like, wait, does this never end?
The song
I was like, does this never end? Like, cause like the song started over again, like, and then I died, and then the ending of the game happened, and I was like, oh shit, I had no idea. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I was like fighting for my life.
I thought there was a true ending. So when I asked you, like, I would have want to play it again to get the true ending, but like that was it. Like I didn't last that long. I thought like because I didn't last 15 minutes. I lasted like 2, and that was it. And I thought like after the wave, I was able to fight Helena. And she went in that little area where you're fighting everyone. Yeah. For those that are listening,
there. Yeah.
There's Helena's right in the center, and she's like. Just I don't know what she's doing. She's
can't lock onto her.
Kind of sitting. Yeah. And like I thought you were gonna like hit her at least once and that would be it. And then you get Dillian back, but
no,
apparently that's how it is.
Yeah, no, I don't think you can fight Hela, but you the reason I played through the game again was I wanted to get all those lore stones. I didn't get all of them.
Dude, I was so close.
Yeah, like by the time I got to the final door, I had like 3 missing. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
There's like 3 left?
Yeah.
Like, I want to play through it a second time. is definitely different because like
There's like an extra cutscene, right?
there is an extra cutscene, but like it's also like I don't know, you know what's coming, you know the answers to puzzles. This game might be one of those cool games to like come back to like years from now when you've forgotten things about it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
but like it was very strange. It's faster, much faster the second time because you know what to do. And
Yeah.
and it's actually nice. Like the runes are marked in a way where like you could see how many are missing in your area. Like because they like they have little splits on the rune stones themselves. And but I mean, because that was like the that was like the final thing I had to do, and like you get one more cutscene with Druth. Yeah, and Druth basically tells you that like the person who betrayed your clan to the Vikings was a man in a black robe, which is Senua's dad. I forget his name. But like so the plot.
Yeah, it starts with a Z.
Yeah, Zindel or something.
Yeah, Zin something.
So the plot of the game is Senua looking for her lost love, but the story of the game is Senua was told she was cursed by her father. He also burned her mother at the stake as a cursed woman.
Yeah.
And like, put all of this pressure on Senua, told her she's like wrong to be born, basically. And Dillion's the only person who like said to her like, hey, no, like you're great the way you are. Don't worry about it. Cool. Like
you're a good fighter.
You're an awesome fighter. You're like, she fell in love with him because he saw her as who she is instead of like putting this thing on her. And and she doubts that sometimes because she's in a really fragile state mentally and like, but like one of the things you find out towards the end of the game is that like your Hella is the darkness, right? But also the darkness in your head is this booming voice, which turns out to be your father's voice. Like it's a really creepy voice. I love that effect they put on it or whatever. And like he's like constantly telling her like she's messing up and like like not to do what she's doing. Or like remember when she drops Dillion's head at one point and like all the voices are just like calling her stupid. Like, you stupid girl, you dropped it. I was just like, Jesus, like this is so intense.
It's really going on ham.
Yeah, and like so like it turns out he's the one who like betrayed their clan and let the Vikings in to like, because remember like her clan basically got killed and Dillion got killed, and like if Zindel like sold them out, then like like that sucks. Another reason to dislike it. Another cool thing about this game is the character model of Senua is really good. It's like better than like almost everything else. And then
I think it's because like we see a lot of like front shots and close up shots of her.
Yeah.
I think that's why like a lot like when you told me like the graphics were good and it even beats Horizon, I think that's the reason as well, is because we see more of her features.
I also think like facially, exactly. Like Horizon is probably a stronger engine and like more power is pushing all this stuff, but like they focus down on Senua's face and then like in the environment, and it looks great. And then they did really interesting things with effects, post-processing, and like they added stuff that I didn't even notice until the second time around. Like, did when you're in the like area of illusions, did you know that there's eyes on the trees? How crazy is that? Like they put like video of eyes closing, tiny videos of eyes all over the place. And I didn't even notice that the first time. And I noticed it the second time and I was like, what are those?
Oh, it's
and
definitely a game where you could come back and like explore things.
And then like another thing I thought was really cool is Senua's the only character model with a face. Like everything else
Yeah.
is like either wearing a helmet, you know, all the enemies you fight are these like helmeted things, you know, and like and you know, who knows if they're there or not. And then the characters that like she encounters, I didn't realize until like a little bit into Druth, like the conversation you're having with Druth.
They're like,
Yeah,
real
it's
or
live
whatever,
action, and like I think it fits
Yeah.
really well because they like
yeah, it crosses well.
they like
Yeah.
put in like a lot of effects. Senua looks photorealistic, you know, so like
Yeah, when that happened, I was like, "Damn, this is a really good character model for the this character, other than
Druth.
Droof." But like, yeah, I realized that like it's a real dude, it's a real actor.
Yeah, it's really.
I was like, "Damn, that's really good."
It's like they do really cool stuff. Like Senua sees her mother's face in the environment often. Like she sees it a few times, and like what they do is there's like a statue of a face in rocks, and then they like overlay footage of her mom on top of it, so you can't really see it. But it's this really good effect that like it's creepy and like interesting, and like I don't know, this game I think
just show like she's there. Or
yeah,
something.
I really love this game. This game is I think it's set out to do basically. I think it's set out to do one thing, and it like nails it.
It's the like mental illness.
No, everything about it. Like I mean, I think it like set out to make a very specific experience. You know what I mean? Like it wanted to be the game that it is, and it is that game. And I think it's like perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, it's.
I think the only one thing I have against it is two things I guess is the title, right? That's obviously we talked about that in the beginning. But the other thing, unless it's part of the mental illness, is the voice, the specific voice, the louder one of the three, I guess, the one that like does the introduction and say what's
the
happening.
Narrator one.
She's only on my right, my left side every time.
Interesting.
And that makes my neck want to like. It hurts my neck somehow.
I didn't get that. I played it with earbuds in. I didn't hear like a voice. I didn't hear her voice only come from one side.
Yeah, well, I mean, she's on the other side too, but very faintly. But like, I feel like it's that whole like ASMR thing where she's just like at your like front left side, and she's talking like really close.
I don't remember that.
And like, I don't know. When I played it, that's the only thing I have.
You're talking about the one who's like the one who says like who talks about Senua like from a third person, not like the one who said not the like gossipy mean ones, but the those ones are so annoying and upsetting.
It's weird though, because you know there's two of them, right? And then because they say we are here when they leave, and then she's alive, we're back. Or whatever.
And they start laughing, they start giggling.
Yeah. And then it's interesting because they also can't hear. No, they could hear. I think they could hear. What's his face? They could hear the darkness or your father, right? And then they could hear a little bit of Druth.
Yeah. They say like, "Don't believe him," or like they'll like say stuff like that. They'll be like, "He's lying to you," you know.
But they don't hear. But what's interesting is they don't hear the intro chick. I guess.
Yeah, they don't hear that voice. But they do a really cool thing during combat, which like this game is maybe 20% combat. It's very small. It's like there's like 2 hours of the game where like you just won't fight anything, and then you'll have like 5 fights in a row or something. You know what I mean? It's like it's really interesting pacing. Like it doesn't pace itself.
I am fine with that too. Like that's the pacing for it is great.
Yeah, it's really cool how long it decides to like go without making you in danger, you know? But like when you're in danger, it's like really like when everything's burning around you and you have to get to a thing, like that gets freaky, you know? So I love the way they do it. But like during combat, like because you don't have any heads up display, one really cool trick is the voices tell you like if you're about to be attacked from behind. Because
and then they just give you hints like block.
I love how close the camera is on you at all times. It's like it'll never back away. Like the camera is right next to Senua, and like
it's like almost
exactly.
static,
and
right?
like it's Resident Evil 4. It feels like like that sort of camera, and like
Yeah, I feel it's. No, sorry.
No, it's like claustrophobic, right? Like kind of like you're
yeah,
too close.
bit, yeah.
But it's like it really adds to it, you know, and like
Yeah. In combat, it looks great. Like especially when you're like running and stuff, and she does like a charge.
You better pull off a perfect parry, man. It's super cool when you pull.
I need to do that. I want a parry.
I got
now.
really into it. I got into it to the point where like I would be doing a combo, and then like one of the moves I know, like they'll start swinging, and then like mid combo, I'll perfect parry, and then the follow up attack from the parry is really cool. She does this like spin attack where she spins sideways.
Oh,
it's really cool.
Yeah, the only combo I only do, and towards the end I did it forever, was I did a charge heavy attack and then follow up with light attack, which does a little animation, and then do 2 heavy attacks that usually kills like the first tier. So there's like different tiers of enemies, right? There's like one guy with like a long sword and he has a weird hat, and there's another one with like a hammer,
and then sometimes they have shields.
Yeah, well, that's the 3rd tier, I think.
And then there's the like big old dudes with the big axes.
Yeah.
They have like hyper armor on, so like they'll just like charge through any attack. You can't like interrupt them.
And that's pretty much the combo I did, and it would usually kill the like first tier guys quickly, and then that's all I did.
I started like really liking this look of this one combo. So what it is if you do the heavy, I love that, by the way, the heavy charge and then square right afterwards, and she does a stab animation. Yeah. But there's also another cool combo where it's if you do a heavy hit and then you follow it up with like square a few times, she does this move where she like spins around and like stabs and then like pulls it out with a spin. It's like really neat. Yeah. Like, and like once I figured out that combo, I was like, oh, looks like I'm doing that one a lot, because that one looks sick. Like, and then if you run and do a light attack, she does that like you know that movie Troy with Brad Pitt?
A little bit, yes.
He has this move in that movie, which is, I don't know why it's this move that he does.
Oh, I know what you're talking about
for some reason.
Is it a charge light attack?
It's like when he jumps in the air and like stabs. Like it's like
that's fun.
She does that.
It's quicker.
It's quicker.
One another combo I did, and I think it was kind of cheese, especially for like the first and second tier one, because it staggers them. Is evade and then light attack, forward light attack.
Yeah.
Evade, forward, light attack, and that usually does like a stab forward and slice sideways, and that is like mechanically, it's like I think it's the most DPS move you could do, and you could do it constantly.
It's crazy. I didn't even know that move was a thing until like I didn't know like dodge like moves were different. You know what I mean? Like this is like a pretty deep system that they don't explain at all, and I love that. That's like, cool.
Like it could be a very bad thing for people that have never played a game like this before. I mean, like it is really cool. I don't think
you need all of that. I think if you're bad at this game, it's still like it like auto scales the difficulty for fights.
Interesting.
Like you could set it to hard if you want, but like the default setting is auto. You know, so if you're doing really well, it'll get more challenging. If you do worse, it'll probably get easier. You know. And another cool thing is like the puzzles aren't hard. Like they make you think, but they're not hard. You know what I mean? Like I've never been like I can't figure out where to go. It's more like because they'll put you in an area, like you're stuck in that area until you can figure it out, and it's usually like, and I mean like the rune stuff. I don't think is like super. It's okay.
No,
but like I think my favorite puzzle area of the game is the illusions, because I think about that. I think it's so cool, like how like you look through the gates and then like it's a different area. You know, like things are different now. Like that's really cool. Like this path
it's
won't
fun,
open
and
up.
it changes as you're moving. In between the gate too.
And that's like
cool.
I don't know how they did that. That's really cool tech. You know what I mean? Like I was like thinking about it, because this is an indie game. This game's $30. It's made by a smaller team, and it's like. It blows me away.
It's a really well-made game. I've only gotten stuck one time, and it wasn't even a puzzle. I just didn't know where to go, and it's where you end up going into the area where you first encounter the dog thing.
Oh yeah, where you need the
You
torch.
see your mother. Yeah, you see your
Right.
mother, and then you need to find the runes. I I didn't go upstairs. I went everywhere
you
else,
just
and I
missed
stayed
the
in there for like
stairs.
15 to 20 minutes trying to look for the next
Okay.
rune, and I totally forgot I could just go upstairs, and it was right
That
there, like literally right
that
there.
area is really scary. Like whenever when you're in the darkness without a torch, and
Yeah.
then the like voices start like, and the
Yeah.
overlay,
They start screaming.
the overlay starts
They
happening.
go
Like your
crazy.
vision gets all crazy. Like that's
Yeah.
really freaky. And it's like,
Oh wait, yeah, it's after you go through that door, right? And then there's like a waterfall,
yeah.
or whatever.
And then
That one was intense because I didn't know where to
when
go
you-
because my vision was
yeah,
gone.
your torch is gone, and then you see like fire in the distance, and
Like-
so you start booking it. You know, you're like, but you're still in
well,
water.
you see, like,
You s-
oh no, you're thinking of it. I think. Well, yeah, that one too was scary, but like there was another one right after that, right? Where there's like you have to like this one area. It's another
yeah, I know
room
what you're talking
door.
about. There's like a
Yeah.
small water, like a thing of water dropping, and you have to like go
Yeah.
through it, and then you have to
Yep.
already have lit the torch on the other side. Yeah,
Yeah,
I remember.
yeah. I figured that because I was looking around. It's like I don't see any light, so I'm not even gonna
Yeah,
try
I was like,
this
I'm not going
bullshit.
through that water. Right? No, I walked through it, but I immediately came back and stood next to the fire.
Yeah, I ran that through my head. It's like, yeah, that's not gonna happen. I'm just gonna come
So
back.
like, I
And
just
yeah.
explored, and I found out that there was another thing to light, and then I was like, oh,
Yeah.
this is probably where I have to run to. And then
Yeah,
went
I
around.
didn't think I didn't when I did that and I went back to the beginning. I totally forgot where it was, so I thought I had to go forward, and I was like,
You
"Oh
died?
shit! Okay, no, this is not the right way. I gotta go right. I gotta go right." I didn't die. I think I was pretty close, but I quickly just went right, and I didn't know if that was the right way. And then they ended up saying, "Oh, just push the bridge. Just push the bridge." And I was like, "Okay, yeah, I'm here. Okay,
Yeah, that was really tense.
because like it shows like images of like I think faces and just like darkness and like a lot of
Yeah,
red.
it's really red.
And like you're like really blinded and you can't like see, like you can't even see your character.
Yeah, it like
you don't even know if
there's
you're
like
moving
a
or
mini
not.
cutscene where she like
Yeah.
pushes the bridge down and is safe, and I felt so relieved.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I was like, oh,
Yeah,
thank God.
yeah,
Like-
yeah. It's really good. Like it's a really good like game where it makes you tense, like in which I didn't think I was going to, but it does.
Yeah, it's like
It's a good
it's
game.
really good. I think it's like up there with like Inside and, you know, games of that like
Yeah,
But like I
Yeah.
mean, it looks like a AAA. You know, it looks like a God
Yes.
of War or like, you know, like
Yeah,
Horizon.
yeah.
Like it looks
looks
really good.
beautiful.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
this is insane how a game like this can be made. You know, where it's like usually indie games are where like really interesting ideas are, right? But they don't have
Yeah.
the budget to like. They don't usually get the budget to make these beautiful, amazing looking games. Yet, like,
Yeah.
this game did that. They did both the budget, like they made it look like it's a high priced Uncharted style game, and they also have like these super interesting ideas that like no publisher would ever be okay with, like no HUD
Yeah.
at all. In fact, we're not going to tell
Yeah.
you anything about how to play this game. You figure it out on your own. So like in the beginning when they're like focus on this rune and there's no button prompt for what focus is, I'm just hitting every button. You know, I was like, I don't know what
Well, I mean, I'm gonna throw spoilers, but it's in there when you
it
pause.
is. There is stuff when you pause. Yeah. But like,
So I mean, I'm pretty sure people will figure
yeah, and
that
I
out.
didn't even like at first I didn't know, like I didn't pause it, right? Because like I didn't want to skip any. I didn't know if you could pause cutscenes. You know, like I didn't know any.
Yeah, you didn't want to
Yeah, I'm
accidentally
always
skip.
uncomfortable
Yeah,
with that
that's where I
stuff.
was at.
And like
Yeah,
and you can, don't worry, like you can totally pause cutscenes in this game. You can't skip cutscenes.
yeah. You can't
Yeah.
skip. No, that's gonna really drive
made the
speedrunners
second
off the
run
rails.
kind of tough because I was like, oh shit.
I already
And
seen
not only that
this.
is like I think during the second run I missed a rune in the first area, so I had to restart the game again a third time.
Yeah,
You know, because it was like at the very beginning
Yeah.
of the second run, like I got to the area where I was supposed to continue forward and I couldn't go backwards. And so I was like, fuck. Like, I'm trying to get all the runes this time. So, like, I restarted the whole game, you know? And then I was like, shit, like, you can't skip cutscenes. But, but yeah, it's like, yeah, man. If they had a, you know, what they could do, what I think would be really nice for this game would be like a chapter select feature for like, you know, just to pick up runes and stuff.
Yeah.
Because there are,
I was hoping
because there are chapters, you know, it feels very like, this is chapter 1, this is chapter 2, you know, like, and like, oh man, and it gets like, there's no cuts in the game, I don't think, ever. Is there?
I've noticed like I've kind of noticed where like the game kind of jumps, and I think that was a cut.
Like there's like there'll be like a flash on the screen, you know, like you'll fight the boss and you'll like hit the final hit, and then it'll like flash, and then you'll see a cutscene. But a lot of times the cutscenes just happen from where you're standing. The camera will like move away and like, yeah, and then there's some like pre-rendered cutscenes, but like I feel like the way they do it is really cool. Like there was one where Senua was like in the dark, and then everything goes dark, and it's a pre-rendered cutscene playing, but it's like starts from where she was in game.
Yeah, no, like that stuff. There wasn't many cuts. Like it was either hard to tell or it was really well like transitioned.
Yeah, and sometimes like I wasn't sure if I was like playing the game at first. Like there was a part when she walks in through the she's walking towards the tree, and then there's like a flash of white, and then it's like beautiful. It's like just really pretty scenery, and like Dillian's waiting for her, and so and she doesn't have makeup on anymore, like the war paint. And then I was like, oh, that's like in the cutscenes. But then she was like not walking forward, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm still in the game. Like I thought this was a cutscene. Like there's a lot of cool like
it's just really, really hard to tell transitions.
Yeah,
really, right?
But in a good way. It's like,
yeah,
and
it's
I mean,
good.
like everything's just like, yeah, I mean, it just makes sense. The game just like makes sense. You know what I mean? Like it's like they don't tell you how to climb a ladder, so you hit X and then you start climbing a ladder, and you're like, yeah, that makes sense.
I think it's either X or like.
But I mean, it's like it makes sense. You're just like,
but
I assume it's this button. It's like this makes me wish more games did this. Like I'm not like even like major AAA games, you know, like you don't have to have push triangle to like look at the thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, just like display that shows every time you're near something.
I don't need that. Like I think I get it.
Like we know.
Like I mean like Dark Souls has that. You know what I mean? And it's like like Dark Souls, you don't have to have that.
It's all right, dude.
like,
don't worry. I think it just helps for like people, like for that situation, those situations. Like you don't know what door you can actually open or whatever, and you might get lost.
And that's fine. I mean, let me have to look around all the doors. It doesn't make sense to like,
or if anything, just give an option to turn it off. That would be
nice. Yeah, because I mean, like, I'm not saying like get rid of all health bars and ammo, whatever. Like, that might be helpful in some, but like. I don't need like press X to look at, you know, like if it's a glowing thing on the ground, I'm assuming if I go up and hit X, it's going to pick it up. You know what I mean? Like, there's stuff that other games can do, you know, but like, I don't know. This game, I mean, there's nothing really to pick up in this game. I don't think.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's stuff to interact with here and there, you know? And
mainly like the thing is like again, like you said, like you didn't even have to like, they didn't tell you anything besides maybe like the voices that tell you to focus. But in areas in where you think like, okay, this is interesting. Let me
it's
focus.
all diegetic,
and then you get like a cutscene.
It's all like part of the game's like reality. You know, it's part of her mind interpreting things. So when she's not gonna see like a big PlayStation triangle button pop up because what does that mean to her? But she is going to hear, like, behind you. You know, watch out, they're attacking from behind you. She is going to see what she sees, she is going to see.
Oh my God. I got
Why?
You know how, like, at the ending, right? You lose your voices? You still have a voice when you enter, and I think that's her mom's. Is that right?
Oh, is that her mom's voice?
Does that sound right? I feel like that is, and I think that's her the whole time.
The one who says Senua has died many times and will die again.
Yeah, I feel like it might be her. But
no, it could be her. Yeah,
but I mean that's just a theory, and I just got chills.
I really like that sequence when she gets to that mirror and Senua comes out of it and tells her, begs her not to go on. Yeah, that part's really cool. And
have you ever gone around that thing?
No.
Is there anything on the other side of that?
I don't know. I think like as you walk up to it, it probably triggers that cutscene. I think so because
so you can't go like all the way.
I don't think so. And I didn't try.
Okay,
but like
I'm sure there's not really.
There's a lot of cool stuff. Like I love that puzzle area where you have those masks and like you look through the mask on the other side and the world changes.
Day and night.
That's really cool. It's like a pretty world, or like the stormy world.
Yeah, it's really cool. And then the puzzles are great. Like it's all good, man. Like
combat's good. Puzzles.
It's one of those games that like I don't know. It's definitely one of those games that I've enjoyed without having to look up anything.
Yeah. And I think like that's the thing. I mean, I like it better than. I was gonna say I like it better than most indie. I like it better than most games. It's just like so good. Mm-hmm. It's like up there with like the games of this year for me. Like it's up there with Nier and all the. I think it's Ninja Theory's best game. Yeah. It's better than all their AAA big budget games that they've ever made. It's better than Enslaved. It's better than Devil May Cry. It's better than Hellblade or Heavenly Sword. That's weird, right? It's called Hellblade, and the first one was Heavenly Sword.
Heavenly Sword. Hey, that is interesting.
It is weird. Anyway, awesome game. Totally
Good
recommend
game.
it.
Yeah, definitely recommend it. Man, it's about that time, June, where we have to end the podcast.
About that time.
Unfortunately, we have to go, but we're not going to leave because we're probably going to play games.
You don't have to go. You can stay here and listen to this, I guess.
Okay. You're right.
You can just chill.
Actually, edit,
Oh, I was talking to them. They don't have to go. They can stay.
You guys don't have to go. Yeah. But, we have other podcasts. We don't have other podcasts, other episodes. If you just hop into this one, you can find us at binchbros.podbean.com.
We want questions. We really want YouTube. Questions.
We've been wanting that for almost a year. We're coming to a year, June.
Huh? Where do they ask us questions?
I mean, you could comment on this on YouTube or on iTunes. I don't even know if they have like a comment thing. If you're looking, just look up Binch Bros. BinchBros.
Also, we have Twitter.
We have a Twitter and a Facebook. At Binch Bros Pod for Twitter, and then it's Binch Bros for Facebook.
Like the same art on all of it, so just look at that art. Yeah, it'll be fair.
I eventually have to. I want to update that soon. I want to have like a New Year's art, revolution, or no, I don't know. Like when we start the new year, I want to have like a new image for the next, I guess, season of Binch Bros. So that way, it's easier to know when is when, I guess. But yeah, we've been wanting comments for a while.
Ask us a question, we'll answer it.
And any recommendations on games that you guys think we'll like, or just games that you like, or talk to us.
Next week we're gonna be doing what?
We're
gonna be doing Bayonetta 1.
Yes,
Bayonetta 1 is next week. All right, that is a very different game from Hellblade.
Yeah.
Oh man, I can't wait to play that game again.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. So follow us for the next podcast when we play Bayonetta. And until next time, we'll see you guys later.
Peace.